Good morning to you, Mark Sutton with HurricaneTrack.com, here with your hurricane outlook and discussion. I am traveling with my wife. It's our anniversary, 22 years that we have been married. And so we're down in the South Carolina coastal area, headed to Charleston this evening, where we're going to catch Jim Gaffigan. So that should be fun. So I got the laptop. I'm at the hotel room. No microphone today, so it's kind of that open air sound. But hopefully the audio is at least loud enough. Anyhow, let's get on with it. Show you what's happening out there today. Ernesto up here in colder than 80-degree water temperatures. It's like 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and yet it's still a tropical storm. And that is because the upper levels, at the outflow level, way up high, 200 millibars or so, the air temperature up there is very, very cold, and so it's allowing that instability to continue and the convection to continue to be generated, and it's maintaining a tropical warm core characteristic. So just thought I'd point that out. Down here we do have Invest Area 99L, which is not going to develop into a tropical cyclone, but it is going to bring some showers and thunderstorms into parts of the Windward Islands. So be ready for that over the next couple of days. And over the next 5 days, of course, there's nothing else developing across the Atlantic. It does not appear. Looking at the satellite imagery this morning, wanted to show you, there is one interesting area. Let's see if I can get this to work. Come on. There's an interesting blow up right here. I've also forgot my mouse, so I'm using the touchpad on the laptop. This is a curious feature. I'll show you why this is not much to worry about. Here's 99L, and this is going to bring a lot of moisture in through this region over the next couple of days. So be prepared for gusty winds. That'll be moving in through today and tonight and the rest of the weekend. So just, we've got a lot of people that watch down there in the Windward Islands. So be careful and let me know what happens. I'm curious. The vorticity signature of it, probably the best that it has looked, but it's really not organizing much more than we have seen, and therefore I'm not too concerned about it. If we look at the zoomed in version of the satellite imagery, there might be just the slightest hint of some inflow right in there. As you can see, this awesome high resolution imagery from the GO 16, and then the animation put together by Levi Cowan allows us to see this, but there's just not something, the wind shear is not the issue. I'll show you that in a minute. Maybe there's still some dry air, but just a generally sinking motion. It's interesting because the clouds seem to be going this way, don't they? I just noticed that. So maybe there is a little bit of shear, but it's not from the west, which we're used to seeing. But overall, this is just going to be a rainmaker with some gusty winds. And don't discount that. And you folks there in the windwards, look, there's Barbados right on the edge of the screen. And some of this heavier convection is headed your way. Sounds like someone's running the water in the room above me. So that's loud too. Not my room. In the Eastern Pacific, there's Lane right there, and that'll be heading probably to the south of Hawaii as a major hurricane, and then maybe a couple of other areas trying to get more organized. In the Eastern Pacific, the drumbeat of that continues, and there you go. So not too much to worry about in terms of impacts to Mexico, which is good. Now, what about this feature right here, tucked away there in the Gulf of Honduras? Well, if we look at the shear, it's just not in a good area. Look at that. It's all red through there, so that's not going to have much of a chance to develop, although it is an impressive area of lower level thunderstorms, etc., over a very warm area of upper level heat content, or upper ocean heat content. That's what I was trying to say. Then, this is curious, 99L is definitely located in an area of light winds, so why isn't it developing? Well, there's just always something that's going to prohibit something from developing, it seems, right? And in this case, I think there's just too much in the way of convergence or sinking air, and not enough, and that's in the upper levels, and just not enough to get this going, whatever that kick is that seems to make these systems go. It's just not there for this one today or tomorrow or the next day. So anyhow, like I said, a big rainmaker perhaps for parts of the windwards. Other than that, do not let this worry you throughout the weekend. Just want to show you this. If it'll let me click on it, please cooperate. There we go. We are entering definitely a much more suppressed phase of upward motion up at the 200 millibar level. That's what that shows. And I was tweeting about this back and forth today with Dr. Ventris and Ben Knoll about the different MJO forecast and the upper level 200 millibar velocity potentials, etc. And honestly, it's not going to be until sometime here in September that things start to become conditionally more favorable in the Atlantic Basin. So between now and then, a few storms to watch maybe here and there out in the subtropics. But honestly, going into the weekend, it doesn't look too bad at all. And that's great considering what we went through last year. Puerto Rico just now got 100% power back, at least according to official reports. Hopefully we can trust that. And you don't need any hurricanes in your area, duh. And luckily, there's none coming. So there you have it. That's it. Really not much else to talk about, so I'll call it a day. Have a great rest of your Friday. Thanks as always for tuning in. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com on sort of a small vacation celebrating the anniversary, 22 years, and I'll have more for you tomorrow.